So welcome to those that have joined us. Thank you very much for taking time out of your Thursday evening. It's lovely and sunny here, so I'm hoping you've all got a bit of sun, apart from Dawn, obviously, who never gets sun apparently. It's really nice to see you all, or hear you all, speak to you all. And yeah, we just wanted to say hi, let you know who we are, what we do, where we're from, and just basically get a bit of a community going. So the outline of the evening is we're going to have a chat with Dawn in a minute about living with pet bereavement and the brainchild behind the ABPC. And then we're all going to have a little bit of a natter at you, just introduce ourselves, let you know who we are, where we've come from, and basically how we go about doing our pet bereavement and how we're active with it. And then we'll have a little bit of an open Q&A session at the end. So if anybody has any questions, you are welcome to wait until then, or if you want the burning questions that need to be asked straight away, pop them in the Q&A box, and Dave will have a read and answer if any as we go along. So yeah, I will hand over to Dawn. You likely all know her already, but we'll have a chat with Dawn, and then we'll go through our different PBCs and just let you know this. So Dawn, I'll hand over to you.
Okay, thank you, Kirsty. Good evening, everybody. Thanks very much for taking the time out to join us. As Kirsty says, it's much appreciated, and we're hoping that we will build up a community through these webinars. As Kirsty mentioned there, Living with Pet Bereavement is the company that I started up many years ago. I was a pet undertaker in Scotland. Changed the name to Living with Pet Bereavement after an accident I had at a crematorium, which then meant that I was no longer able to lift any of the pets that I had to through my work as an undertaker. But I wanted to keep the counselling side going, so I changed it to Living with Pet Bereavement. All the people I met over the years who asked me what I did by way of work, as soon as I said I was a pet bereavement counsellor, they were shocked. They said they'd never heard of such a thing. And yes, I got the comments, do people really need that? Similarly, at the same time, an awful lot of people who had pets found out at a later date that I was a pet bereavement counsellor and said, oh, I could have done with your support. So there was clearly a void between, people wanting and needing the support and actually understanding about the work of a pet bereavement counsellor. So about, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago, I decided that this would be a great way forward if all the independent pet bereavement counsellors all united. And through being united through the association, that we can get the message out there. We can cover a much wider area. We can support and help each other. And although it has taken several years, obviously, to sort of get my idea off the ground, but I was waiting on the right people coming along, and the right people came along by way of the people that are in the webinar tonight with me, Kirsty, Carrie and Neil. But I needed to wait till those people were available to join me to start up the association. So from the association, basically it's threefold was my idea. Number one, obviously, to raise awareness of the work that independent pet bereavement counsellors do, the speciality of the subject, also to obviously get the message out there that this is a very much a specialist subject, and it really takes somebody who really understands what it is to lose a pet and able to support somebody through such a loss, pre, during or post the death of their companion animal. Alongside that, I also wanted to ensure that the standards were being met, because I was quite concerned to see a lot of the courses that were available for people to become a pet bereavement counsellor, and it barely scratched the surface. And even with some of the most comprehensive courses that are now available, there's still a lot of ongoing learning. Every day is a learning day as far as I'm concerned, and I keep up to date with a lot of the advancements in counselling, psychology, pet bereavement, pet crematoriums, anything to do with the loss of a companion animal. So basically, you know, if we're looking at, so, you know, 3 different aspects here: to raise awareness, to unite all the independent pet bereavement counsellors, and to make sure that we're all working to a standard, that we're all being, you know, offering clients a safe space to talk with us, confidential, just ensuring that we're very ethical in our work practice and what we do. Obviously, pulling together an association like this with so many people out there who have trained differently under, you know, different colleges, some have a wealth of experience. I mean, Carrie and I, when we first started doing this type of work, there was very little information, if any at all. We've learned our trade. Well, I don't want to speak for Carrie in this. I'm sure Carrie will speak for herself. But certainly for myself, over the years, I've learned my trade from people who have pets. And they are the most important people, and it's them that has decided what they need and what they want when it comes to the support that we give through the period of bereavement. Since the launch in March, we had decided initially we were going for a big launch, but in actual fact, I took ill, and that's all the plans were changed very quickly at the last minute. So we went for a softer launch, but over the past few months now, the publicity that this association has garnered through the media has been phenomenal. It has been so positive. Only yesterday we had Sky News contact us. They wanted an interview with Kay Burley, who also had experienced disenfranchised grief when, I believe, her own dog, which I think it was a Labrador, passed away. So we are getting noticed. We're getting noticed, we're getting the word out there, and the right people will be learning that pet bereavement counselling can stand in its own right. It is very unique, and the people who are offering that support have phenomenal amount of experience, their own losses, and that of supporting others through their loss. So it will take a while for the association to grow and develop. We know that. So we're blown away with the amount of attention that it has already received. It will take some time to grow and develop. And that's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. We do want it to be good. We want everybody to interact with everything that we do at the association, because to me, an association is there for the members, and it's the members who are going to guide us and be part of it, because obviously it's you know, we're here to do as much as we can, but with the support of all the members behind us. So from that, I mean, I'm thrilled to bits that the association is now up and running, and I've got a fantastic team who are all working incredibly hard behind the scenes. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline that we will roll out as and when the time comes. And I hope you know, it's good for you to be a member of the association, and we're always here to answer any questions that you have, any ideas that you have. If you want to come on board with certain things, by all means get in touch with us. We'd be delighted to have you work with us. I think that's me, Kirsty.
Thank you, Dawn. It's so lovely to hear you speak with such passion about what, you know, go from a dream to a reality. It's really lovely, and I'm really pleased that you reached out and we get to work together to pull the association forward and, like you say, garner the right attention and the right people. So we're going to move on to just introducing the founder members that are here as well. So Neil's joining us from France, I believe, was it? So we'll hand over to you and your right-hand outlook. It's looking very lovely. But yeah, if you'd like to have a chat and just introduce who you are and what you do, that'd be great.
Sorry, me. I can't, I had, sorry, I had a little bit of problem with the connection there. I do apologize, everybody. Thank you.
To be fair, I was anticipating some sort of technical problem at some point. So here we are. It's out of the way now.
And
Excellent.
I'm sorry if I keep moving around. I'm not normally, I'm not on my laptop. I would be normally. I'm managing on my tablet and it's sliding about. Anyway, I'm Neil, and I live on the sunny south coast in Hastings. And I first got realised, if you like, pet bereavement was a subject many years ago, and I was a Samaritan. And the odd occasion we would have a caller, and as this, their story came out, there would be something about pet bereavement. I didn't really take a lot of notice of it back then. We're going back 20 odd years, and then I stopped being a Samaritan for various reasons. And around 4 or so years ago, I was thinking I need to get my teeth into something new, and came across the Pause to Listen scheme with Cats Protection, and thought this is for me. This is exactly what I'm looking for, to be able to support people using kind of a skill that I already got, but sort of in something far more niche. And having had my own animals and gone through bereavement with them, so it seemed to be a good fit. So I did the training and sailed through that, I have to say, and started on the phone lines and realised it really wasn't for me. Sometimes I'd be sitting there for an hour or 2 hours and there would be no calls whatsoever. And I thought, you know, this is what's being done is very valid, but I think actually I need, sitting here twiddling my thumbs is not suiting me. And I thought that also I could broaden this out into, you know, pets in general rather than just cats. So I looked around and I came across Living with Pet Bereavement and signed up for the advanced diploma that Dawn runs, and started that in October 21. And every module I sent in, I was in trepidation of whether it would be good enough, whether it would be okay. And luckily, come May 2022, I was awarded a distinction in pet bereavement counselling from Living with Pet Bereavement, which was absolutely thrilling. And then I set up my own website and did a little bit of my own work, which I must admit was slow, but it suited me. And then I'm very honoured and proud that last August, when Dawn was feeling a bit under the weather, she asked if I'd do some backup calls for Living with Pet Bereavement. And here I am now, nearly a year later, doing backup calls for pet bereavement. But we're I, I was added to the website sort of with my own name and my own right, and I have to say I've had a lot of repeat clients and were booked out weeks in advance. So I can absolutely tell you there is a real need for this work. But I'm very honoured that Dawn put her trust in me, and you know, it's really worked out well. And as Dawn said earlier, the you know, it's pet owners and what they want that give us the experience. And you know, every time I think I've heard it all, then I hear something different, and every time I think I've heard it all, I hear another nuance and just something else. So it's quite a it's a learning curve every single call, which is just brilliant. And I'm absolutely, you know, hand on heart say thank you for that, and being able to gain the experience that I have. And just a little extra, I lost my own dog on Easter Saturday this year, my lovely Barney, at just over 15 and a half. And one of the things that's been so, I'm going to say good about all of this is that I knew about this work beforehand, and I was counselling beforehand, and we were able to put plan A, B, and C into place to ensure that we were as stress-free as possible at the end, and hoping for an ideal, but prepared to go for something less if needs be. And it was because of this work and knowing that we were able to do that. Otherwise, I'd no idea. And it made such a difference. And we were very lucky we did get our ideal. And it's made a huge difference. And if I can do anything to help any pet owner to pre-plan, to make plans when perhaps it's quite a difficult subject to look at, because you sort of you don't want to be planning that sort of feel like you don't want to be planning that sort of thing, but it does make a huge difference. So that's a real plus from this work for me. And as I say, I just say thank you to Dawn and Living with Pet Bereavement. But that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neil. I know exactly what you mean about that trepidation of sending those those units in and waiting for it to come back. It was a roller coaster of a time, but yeah, I know that feeling too well.
Well, there's a hard taskmaster at the other end there when it comes out the printer.
No prisoners. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So I'm going to hand over to Carrie now and let her give you a bit of an intro of what she does and who she is. Thanks, Carrie.
Hi, thank you very much. So hello everybody. Yep, so I'm Carrie. I am a former veterinary care assistant and I qualified as a pet bereavement counsellor back in 2001, and I had taken a short break from pet bereavement counselling due to personal reasons. So I don't class that as a break. So I'm still going with the 23 years as a pet bereavement counsellor because I never stopped, thinking about what I was doing. So my story is that I was working in veterinary practice. It was just me and a vet. It was just the two of us. Very old school practice. And we never knew what we were getting in. We didn't have set appointment times. We just had 9 till 10, 2 till 3, 6 till 7. Gosh, I can still remember the surgery times. But we never knew who was coming in. So it was an open door policy. And due to that, we never knew what we were expected to do with these patients. And I started working there at 18. I was fresh out of sixth form college, wanted to be a veterinary nurse, got work experience at this practice. And at 18 years old, I was offered a job working at this practice because the nurse that was working there was leaving. And obviously, I jumped at the chance that this was my dream job. But I didn't realise that with this dream job came some not so pleasant experiences. And at 18, I witnessed my very first euthanasia. I didn't have pets growing up, so I didn't know what euthanasia was, never heard of it. And I can still picture it to this day. I'm 43 now, and I can still, it's as if I'm stood at the end of the table watching it. And I decided to train as a pet bereavement counsellor because of that very first euthanasia I witnessed. The euthanasia itself went perfectly, as well as it could have, very peacefully. This dog passed very dignified, very peaceful. I wish that I could say that I was very dignified, but I wasn't. I was absolutely hysterical, sobbing, couldn't catch my breath. I dashed into the dispensary, which was in the consulting room, sat behind the wall in the dispensary, sat on a kickstool, absolutely racking sobs. I could not hold it in. And I remember hearing the owner say to my boss at the time, is she all right? And then he said, oh, first one, and she said, the client said, oh, it never gets easier, does it? And I heard that and it just made me bawl more. And to be honest, that's what kickstarted my idea to want to train in pet bereavement, because I just felt, if I'm this upset over a pet that isn't even mine, I've literally just met this dog, how on earth do the owners feel? How do people feel that are going home to an empty house, or to people that just don't get it? And as a people pleaser and as a wounded healer, as they say, I want to help people. I want to make people feel better and support them. And I couldn't stand the thought of people going home and not being supported at this time. So I I'd never heard of pet bereavement counsellors, but I thought, well, surely there's got to be something out there. And I remember finding the Animal Care College down in Ascot did a correspondence course, the diploma in companion animal bereavement counselling. And I asked my boss, I think it was about 30 quid at the time, something like that. It's a lot more than that now. I remember saying to my boss, look, I've seen this course, I really want to do it. And he gave me that look that he always used to give me when I had one of my ideas. And he just sort of gave me this sort of side smile. He's like, yeah, go on then. He said, I'll pay for it, but you've got to work hard at it. And I did, and I passed, and I got my certificate. But even whilst I was doing that, I was helping people. And I remember one lady who'd lost her retriever, Lacey. And I remember saying to this lady over the phone, I said, you know, when they made Lacey, I said, you know, they broke the mold because she was perfect. She was one of a kind. And the owner, she was crying. She said, you know, she said, you're so good at this. It really helped me. And I thought, I can do this. This is what and that really spurred me on. So obviously I'd passed my diploma, and yeah, I used it within work to help clients. And then when my boss retired, I started working in an emergency veterinary hospital, and you know, used my skills there. And then moved to another first opinion practice, again using my skills. But I decided when I was on maternity leave with my second child that I wanted to do pet bereavement counselling full time, that this was really where my heart lies. It's really where my passion lies. And so I quit my full-time job and set up my own pet bereavement counselling service. And through that, I tutor a CPD for veterinary staff, helping them to help themselves and their clients during, post euthanasia. And yeah, I've been helping private clients since. I've been on a few podcasts, and it's through the training that I originally did that I've found Dawn. And I've said to her a few times that she was like my pet bereavement counselling role model, an icon sort of thing. It's like, I was telling you know, when I started, we got in touch and we were talking, and because I'd read like Dawn's book and I'd heard of it, I was like, and I don't know, it sounds really, because like we've spoken a lot over the past years, but at the time I was like, I'm talking to Dawn Murray, like, and nobody in my family knew who I was on about, and I was like, you don't understand that she's like a big name in pet bereavement, and people are just looking at me like, okay. So so over the years, like, me and Dawn have been chatting and working together, and she's just phenomenal. And then when Dawn said, you know, this association, it needs to happen, you know, it's important. And we were talking about it, and I got to meet Kirsty and Neil and Dean and everybody involved. It was like, this association has been a long time coming. It needed to happen. We need to be taken seriously, because this profession is still not, I don't think it's still taken as seriously as it should be. We are a profession, we're highly qualified, we're specialists in our field. And you know, I think people think, oh, it's just a pet, and that really irritates me when people downplay the effect that has on people. Because I've seen, and Dawn will have seen, Kirsty and Neil, they'll have seen firsthand and heard firsthand the devastation in an owner's voice. And often we're like their last, for some clients that I've spoken to, maybe others, we've been like the last chance for that person. We've been the last person that they felt, you know, they may have had lack of support everywhere, and they reach out to us in desperation for somebody somewhere to get what they're going through and listen. And then they find us, and then they start to move forwards and rebuild their lives. And it, honestly, this profession is yeah, it's rewarding, but it does take a toll. But knowing that you are making a difference, so because of that, I've started a level 5 counselling and psychotherapy diploma. I've finished the first year, which was hypnotherapy. So I'm going to be incorporating hypnotherapy into my pet bereavement support. But yeah, I think my experience of working in veterinary practice has helped, especially working in emergency practice and having my own pets. I've had rats. I've had like 9 rats over the years. So obviously multiple losses. And yeah, I'm really proud to be a member of the association and to be involved. And I really hope that we get more members involved, and because honestly it's fantastic and it's needed. And that's yeah, pretty much me. So sorry if I've gone on too much, Kirsty.
Not at all. I mean, you're incredible. How I'm supposed to follow that, I don't know. You nearly had me in tears. So yeah, good. Well done with that one. So yeah, now you guys get me. So I'm Kirsty, you've probably heard. I'm primarily veterinary, so I've been in veterinary for 12 years now. Non-clinical. So I started off as a practice receptionist, worked up through PA, and now a practice manager. Primarily, I started doing pet bereavement purely because it got sent down as a CPD option, and I was like, oh, do you know what? There's a gap in my practice. We aren't looking at that. We aren't supporting our clients. So I'll do that and tick it off. And actually, it was Carrie's course that I ended up on. So yeah, that was interesting when she popped into the founders group, and I was like, oh, I know you. It was halfway through Carrie's course when I realised actually this is speaking to me a bit more than I thought it would. This is really getting under my skin, and Carrie's a fantastic tutor. She is aimed at veterinary staff, and there is a huge hole in veterinary where the teams on the ground are fantastic, but they can only do what they can with the tools they've got. So my passion is getting the tools out there to the veterinary staff and being there for, like Carrie said, for pre, during, and post, because it's not just post euthanasia that the association can help with. And it's really important for me to be able to be there for our clients and our patients right the way from the start. I mean, being there 12 years, some of our bigger patients, our bigger dogs and things, I've seen them come in as puppies, and now I'm seeing them go through arthritis and different endocrinology diseases and things like that. And it is really tough to see these people who you have unknowingly built a relationship with over for the last 10, 12 years. So it helped me in that respect. And once I got to the end of Carrie's course, she very kindly said, anybody wants any more ideas of where you can go with it or any more training, then have a look at living with pet bereavement. And that pretty much sealed it for me. I very much remember sitting in a park with my friend in the pouring rain going, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And she verbally slapped me and said, pull yourself together. You've been doing this for longer than you realise, and you're just honing your skills. And you have such a passion to take it into veterinary and to support your team. So I then got the email from the guys at Living with Pet Bereavement, and yeah, I'd signed on to their and my mind has just gone blank. Signed on to the course to go forward and just hone my skills a little bit, which has been amazing. And what I've managed to take back into our practice, we've had such good response from our clients who they didn't realize that pet bereavement was even a thing, as we've alluded to so far, and didn't even realize that these people are out there to help them. So I'm really proud to be part of the association. It's something I never knew I needed, never knew I wanted, but now I'm here. I'm not going away, so you're stuck with me for a little bit. I lost I keep giant rabbits, and I lost one of my giant rabbits in 2018, and he was my absolute world. I still get upset about losing him, and I was not prepared. He was a poorly boy, but I was not prepared to lose him when he passed. And I wish someone had been around. I wish I'd known there were people around to help, because his loss devastated me. I took time off work. I withdrew from my friends, my family, and it just felt like my world had fallen apart. And most people would be like, well, it's just a rabbit, and I'm like, but it's not. It doesn't matter, goldfish, horse. It's not just a and I think that's what we're here to to help people understand, and to make people feel like they're listened to, and to make them feel valued with their feelings and the way they're processing their grief. What I'm really excited about with the association is we've got so much at our disposal. If myself isn't, I'm not 100% up on one thing. I can say, well, I've got Kerry, I've got Neil, I've got Dawn, I've got XYZ, and it's just pulling all of our skills together and being able to provide the best for people who are going through a awful time. And yeah, just basically allowing us to support and move forward and get our name out there and really just let people know that we exist, really. But yeah, being part of the association is, like I say, a huge step for me, and I'm very proud to be part of it, and I hope everyone else is too. So yeah, thank you. Sorry, whittering on. I get all stuck in my feels, but yeah, no, it's a big thing for me, and I've got Carrie and Dawn and Neil and Dave and Dean and Lucy and everybody to thank for putting up with me, really, because it's a bit tacky. So yeah, that's pretty much me. So we're opening the floor now to any questions. I know nothing's come in, but if anybody has, want to pick our brains or dive a bit deeper into what we do, please feel free to pop a question in the chat box and we'll answer it. And then I think while we wait on that, we're just going to have a look at bits and pieces that we've got coming up. We've got some flyers that are going to be handed out soon, so you may start seeing those around. Hopefully we can get them. Oh, here's one I made earlier. Da, 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 da.
Lovely.
So they are absolutely cracking. So they're going to be distributed hopefully up and down country, just to get our name out there. And we've got a QR code and everything. Oh, that's very
brilliant.
Exciting.
The website.
Website, yeah. And obviously you're all familiar with the website and the socials and everything else. So
sorry, Kirsty, I was just going to say, if any of the members or anybody that's on here could put any of these up for us. I mean, this was going up in our Morrisons, doctors, dentists, veterinary practices, libraries, anywhere at all that will kindly, they're quite good quality, so they are good quality. If somebody wants any of these, they could let me know and I'll pop some off in the post to them.
Yeah, it's flood everywhere with our flyers and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you've obviously all seen that we've got a social media presence, Instagram, Facebook, X. Is that what it's called now? Is it called X now?
X.
Yeah. I'm not up with that, but yeah, and so I hope we are trying to make waves on there. We have got some good responses from people as well. Very, very tentatively trying to break into the corporate vet world and the independent vet world. So that's on the cards. Hopefully getting the big guys on board. At the very least, getting them to understand that we exist more than anything else before we force our training on them. No, I'm kidding. Do it now. So yeah, we had any questions come in?
I haven't seen any questions, but Susan and Gemma have both said that they'd be happy to send out leaflets. That's really good.
I shall get them off in the post.
Yeah, so that's very kind of you both. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
What's just come in? Yeah, absolutely. I imagine we could get as many people as we can do, as many of these as we like, to be honest. It would be great to have a community built around it and get to know each other for names, faces and voices. So yeah, absolutely, 100%. That would be a great plan.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could do meet each other nights, and also if there's particular subjects that to put anybody in the picture that's listening, the founder members, we have often strayed into a subject that we're all quite passionate about. I'm quite animated and the hands start going and we're all jumping out and wanting to speak. So and that is generally just subjects that are related to pet bereavement, pet loss, counselling, etc. But it's been so interesting to hear everybody's different viewpoints. So those nights were quite quite good for us anyway, and if we all enjoyed it, we hope that you would enjoy it as well. And obviously your participation in these types of putting forward any subjects related to pet loss, or the work that we do would be really good, because it doesn't take much for us all to we're not really all shy.
No, not at all.
Like we are at the moment, we do actually say quite a lot when we're talking about our favourite subject.
Not to mention the Christmas party, the Christmas Zoom we did, that was great.
I think we should maybe have some sort of Christmas party for all the members.
Absolutely,
Nice.
I think it'll be great. Although I will trash you all at the quiz again. So
Yes. We're not doing any more quizzes, Kirsty.
Although to be fair, I think my secret weapon was Dave. I'll keep him out of the room next time.
Yes. Yes, I think you're right there.
But on just expanding on what Dawn said, if anybody has got any topics that they're particularly passionate about that they want to write into a blog, or I think we are in the future looking at doing a podcast as well. So I think that's on the back burner at the moment while we get everything sorted, but it is an outlet that we would love to get into, and get our teeth into. So any topics, I know being in veterinary, I get quite a few that fly into my brain. Microchipping not being proof of ownership is a big one for me at the moment. I'm getting that quite a bit, especially off the back of the recent microchip law change with cats. People just don't realise, so that's a big one for me. And of course, you do get the unfortunate events where we get DOA animals in where microchip details aren't up to date and things like that. So if anybody has a bugbear, pretty much, or something they want to get their teeth into, please do reach out. Let us know. We've got many platforms we can look into. We can do guest spots on socials and websites and things. So
Kirsty, I saw there. I did read in social media the other day there that now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe somebody there was I don't know if it was a glitch in their system or whether this particular company that keeps the microchip details hadn't updated them.
Oh, crikey.
And there was quite a few, as far as I know, there was quite a few people who had updated their details, but they hadn't been put into the system, that they found out, some considerable time later. So it's maybe just worth it, it's worth everybody just checking their pets' details.
Perfect. Susan's asked a question. I'd like to know how we can communicate questions re-counselling, not clients directly, of course, with each other. I'm very interested in the community aspect and has been struggling to find anyone else who has an interest in pet bereavement. So yeah, how is it best for our associates to communicate questions? Is it better through the website, or do it rather via email?
I missed Susan's question. I couldn't see it either on my chat. I'm just looking for it. I can't see it. I beg your pardon. Could you read it again, Kirsty? No.
Of course. It says, I'd like to know how we can communicate questions re-counselling, not clients directly, of course, with each other. I'm very interested in the community aspect, as I've been struggling to find anyone else who even has an interest in pet bereavement. I find that really sad. I wish the community, I know we're building a community, but I wish the community was already there. I want to be in it. But as for questions, we've got email addresses, we've got the website contact us page, we've got the socials, and obviously we've got us direct. So you are welcome to pick our brains directly. And if we can't answer, then we can fire you towards someone who might be able to. If anyone has anything to add there.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the students that have certainly gone through our course keep in touch with me. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And I'll maybe get a call from a veterinary practice who have got in a particularly difficult case, from somebody who's works in a veterinary practice, and they're faced with a particularly difficult case with a client, and they're quite they're not quite sure how to best support that client. Because quite often what we find as well is that when somebody does connect with you and engage, and you build that rapport with somebody, with a client, they don't want to go to anybody else. They just want to stick with the one person that they've built rapport with. So no matter how much they can encourage people. So that veterinary practice where did encourage that particular client to phone me for counselling. But I knew that the veterinary staff there had they had the tools to do it themselves. They just needed a wee bit of confidence and a wee bit of direction, and they were able to go off and help support their client. So yeah, I mean, people, well, we're all on email. I don't know if our email address, yeah, I think any one of us, the founder members, all our details are online.
Yeah.
On the website. So no, you could get 4 different answers. 5
Yeah.
with Dean and Lucy when Lucy's back with us. Yeah, I mean, does that answer the question that basically you can contact any one of us? Now, sometimes it can be you might be quite fortunate if you were even just to pick up the phone and give me a phone. It's a bit potluck. Yesterday, my phone was engaged for about 8 hours solid. So you wouldn't have had any luck getting me yesterday, but it's a potluck. You can always try just picking up the phone, giving us a call. And, that's the best way to build relationships with people. I mean, I think Carrie and I started just maybe messaging each other or something, or just quite slowly, and gosh, Carrie, I'm just thinking that was probably a good few years ago now.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, because when I first started and I first qualified, apart from the obvious other pet bereavement charity, I didn't know that there was anyone else out there. And then obviously, I'd seen your book and heard of you, and I was like, there's more people like me out there. And so Susan saying, I think it can feel very lonely, can't you? Feel like you're the only because it's like, because of confidentiality and things like that, you can't tell your family or friends what you've talked about. And so yeah, I think it's nice that we can talk to one another, and like you say, we don't break confidentiality and don't give away any identifying features or anything, but to have someone to just talk to about a particular case, call you've had or email that, because I mean, we're all only human, aren't we? And I know myself, I've had a couple of calls that afterwards I had to do something bright, fluffy and sunny because the call was, do you know what I mean? When you get those calls that are really harrowing, the details. And I just think I'd love to be able to talk to somebody about this. Because I know in human counselling, you have a supervisor, you talk through, your approach and what could you do, get feedback. And we've all got each other. And I think Susan, Dawn said, email us, phone us. I'm always up for a chat about pet bereavement because I'm a bit of a nerd like that. It's my special interest, and I'll happily, or if you just need a chat, I'm always happy to have a natter. And I was just looking in the chat that David put, could we use our private Facebook group for that sort of thing? I don't think that'd be that bad of an idea, just as long as there's no sort of identifying details of a client. Although I know general public won't see what we've put, but I think ethically it's important that we get into the habit of not relaying any personal or identifying details that that could identify a client. But it'd be nice, I think, wouldn't it, to just be able to, if you have had a particularly hard call, or maybe you're struggling with how to progress with a client, or you feel that you're not the right fit for somebody, if we're all here to say, well, actually, I think Neil would be a good fit for you. Or
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
Try us all out.
Yeah, just see, because you've got you've got to fit. But I was just looking also that Gemma had put that she would be happy to do a blog on loss and attachment and trauma, PTSD, because she's had a few clients with PTSD. I personally think that'd be a great blog post, because I don't think people understand the trauma that can be involved with loss. Or peer supervision group online. Yeah, I mean, maybe we can use the private group for peer supervision and check in. And I think it's also maybe important that we check in with, well, I think we do as the founders, but as it grows, it would be really good to check in with all the members. And so it's not us and you, it's we're all in this together. And check in with one another, because it does get quite lonely sometimes, and some of the things we hear or read, can linger. So and we're all passionate about what we're doing, otherwise we wouldn't be here, wouldn't we, doing it? And I don't know, we're all, we've all got our different backgrounds, but the thing that joins everyone, all the members together, is our passion for this topic.
You're right. I think it is as much about supporting each other as it is about supporting our clients. It's like we've alluded to, it's not an easy thing to do back to back. Dawn, I don't know how you do it back to back all day, every day. I imagine Dave does a lot of your support, but it is as much about supporting each other and, like I say, building that community and being there to unwind and just lean on each other, really, as and provide the best we can. So yeah, I totally echo what Carrie's saying. That's a fantastic point.
Yeah, I mean, well, certainly for me, yes, doing back to back, but I've done that for so long now. And I guess it's just my particular coping strategies. But when I'm not on a call or listening to some really sad stories, with that, when I finish a call, I go, right, what's for lunch, what's for dinner, or I have to clear my mind from one call before I go straight on to the next one. But out with my work, which I find so rewarding, I laugh a lot. I mean, people think, if you're doing pet bereavement counselling, you must be quite a sad person by nature to be able to empathise with others. But in actual fact, in order to keep that balance in my private life, and I laugh a lot. And I think that just keeps me quite balanced because of the nature of the work that I do.
Yeah, excellent advice. I think just as you've been talking, I just sparked an idea of writing doing a blog post or a podcast topic when we get there about coping strategies for pet bereavement counsellors and how we if we compartmentalise and how we decompress after calls and things. So yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah,
I mean, it is difficult because there's probably in all the years that I've been taking calls, there was only, I have certainly laughed with many clients when they've been recounting stories to me about their pets, and they're laughing and they're not wanting me to sit there looking all sad and depressed while they're telling me a wonderful, wonderful, happy memory that they're enjoying and they're laughing about as they reminisce.
It's so lovely to hear. Again, the passion behind it is just, it's incredible. And yeah, it's so lovely to see that there's so many people here that want to progress with it. I am a little bit conscious of time, so we'll start to sort of wrap up a little bit, and I'm sure everybody wants their tea. But yes, thank you for the suggestions made in the chat, and we'll definitely look at those, the peer supervision group, the potentially using the Facebook group for that one. And Gemma, if you want to pop that blog along to us, that would be absolutely amazing. Any further questions, please feel free to drop us an email, and hopefully we can, thank you, Gemma. Hopefully we can catch everybody again very soon, and sort of keep the ball rolling. Anybody has any bright ideas, please, again, just get hold of us, and let's move forward with what we all love to do.
Yeah.
So I will very much say thank you to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and thanks for attending.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kirsty. Bye.
Bye.